This Week 8 College Football Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by MyBookie.ag. Right now, to honor football, MyBookie is offering up to $1,000 in free bets using the promo code SGP. That's right, $1,000 in bonus bets on your first deposit when you use the promo code SGP. Play, win, and get paid at MyBookie.ag. We're also brought to you by Amazon. Log on to SportsGamblingPodcast.com and click the Amazon banner. Bookmark that link and use it every time you shop to score sweet savings and support the podcast.
You're listening to the Sports Gambling Podcast, exclusively on SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration. Over.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man. San Diego Superchargers.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer dog?
No, I can't get lost in your eyes right now. That's what's happening.
No, this is a rarely attempted, highly controversial, the tech bar is set very high. We are all in 3 different locations here for the College Football Picks Podcast, the super remote picks podcast for college football. Taping this on a Tuesday afternoon. Joining us on the line, all the way out on the East Coast, the database himself, Colby Dant. What's up, Colby?
What's up, guys? You know, it's tough. I miss the studio in a way. You know, I'm not one to get, hurt. I get homesick, but I feel a little homesick right now.
Yes. I'm also missing the giant glass of Jameson that Ryan always hooks me up with. So maybe I won't mispronounce a lot of these names or completely forget what we're doing or get caught playing blackjack. So there's a lot. That is one benefit. I can play as much blackjack on mybookie.ag that I want without you guys getting in my head.
Wait a second. You're in Vegas, Sean. I think you could be actually at a blackjack table right now. You probably went down to Old Town Vegas, got into one of these small games,
Yeah, that's me. Love Old Town Vegas. No,
so have you real quick, but have you gotten accidentally tripped and fallen into a blackjack table yet?
No, I have not. I've been out here networking for the. I'm at the what's it called? G2E Expo. It's a gambling expo, learning about all the things going on in the gambling world. I was telling Kramer before the podcast, it's crazy. They're saying the next big gambling thing is virtual gambling. And what it is basically, you know how like in Tecmo Super Bowl or in Madden, you can have the computer play itself. You can do a simulation. Well, they have they have this now, but it's like, Madden, high quality graphics, and it's just 2 teams playing each other. And these Asian people just love gambling on it, and it's like a huge thing overseas. It's crazy. And it's supposedly the next big thing in gambling. It's just insane. And they say they love it because the games never stop. Like they just keep playing and playing and playing. So hashtag DGens only. One day, guys, we'll be betting on virtual teams.
That reminds me of a time that I was at Virginia Tech University, and I went to a buddy's house, and his roommates, he had like 4 or 5 roommates. They put in the PlayStation John Madden, and did computer against computer, and I think the pot got up to about $10,000, and I'm sitting there watching this thing, being like, "This is unbelievable." So I am assuming this is the same thing we're talking about, right?
Colby, we are ahead of our times in Blacksburg, Virginia, where gambling on robots all the way back then in the early 2000s was a thing. So, I mean, look, we all get this. We all see the large group of disgruntled Asian men sitting at the baccarat table. They just want action. All baccarat is a coin flip. This is a coin flip. They just want that action. What I'm intrigued about, Sean, is what will this turn into for us? We've been resistant of changes in the past, and I'm curious, do we fall into the virtual gambling, and when does it happen?
Well, Ryan, much like you and Instagram, at first you were fighting it, but then one day it becomes too popular and you're forced to embrace it. I could see the same thing happening with virtual sports. I was watching it and I was going, oh my God, what kind of maniac would bet on this? And then I watch a couple innings and all of a sudden I'm in, I'm ready. I'm taking the Shanghai Cubs squaring off against, I don't know, the Macaw Astros or whatever. It's really crazy.
All right, we've lost everyone. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, at Kramer Centric on Instagram, up to 205 followers, Sean. 4 posts.
Ryan, before we get to our picks for Week 8 college football, we got to give a shout out to the presenting sponsor of the podcast, MyBookie.ag, making all this free content happen. And again, they got a simple formula over there at MyBookie.ag. Play, win, and get paid. They got all the bets, all the spreads, the prop builder. You can throw in Kramer's Monday night props, Thursday night props, Sunday night props. We got it all over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. And again, all this content, all the podcasts, the blogs, the posts, all being fueled by our presenting partner, MyBookie.ag. And if you use that promo code SGP, you get up to 100% deposit bonus. Play, win, and get paid at MyBookie.ag. All right, quick little recap. Week 7. Let's see. Kramer 6-5-1, Sean 5-6-1, Colby 6-5-1. Colby with a clean sweep on the lock, dog, and tease. Kramer and I both hit our bonus locks, and another week where all three of us hit our teases for some reason. Myself and Colby are picking teases at an amazing 71%. Kramer and Colby are hitting their bonus locks at 86%. Colby leading the regular locks with 63%. And of course, coming in last in the 6-pack is Colby himself at 18 and 26 overall.
Well, Colby had been on a hot streak, getting every bonus lock right until this week. I have grabbed the baton from him. I am now on a ridiculous 6 in a row on the bonus locks. You're welcome.
You're welcome, America. I don't know why we. I think we just have to make our bonus locks the locks at some point, but
7-pack.
Yeah, the gambling gods. Maybe that's what we need to do. Knock it up to a 7-pack to make it an even number. The gambling gods hate 6. It's the mark of the beast. All right, let's get into it. Colby 6-pack first game. 11 a.m. kick. Toledo squaring off against Ball State in beautiful Muncie, Indiana. Ball State a 1.5 point home dog, plus 105 on the money line. Toledo minus 110 coming the other way. Total at 60.5. Colby, kick things off. What are we doing? Ball State, Toledo.
Okay. I mean, Ball State's actually been hot the past couple of weeks with some big upsets, including my Eastern Michigan bonus pick last week. But Toledo got shocked. One of the worst teams in the nation, Bowling Green, beat Toledo last week. And I just think Toledo's the best team in the MAC, and they just laid an egg. I expect them to rebound heavy in Muncie. I think Ball State's decent, but Toledo is the class of the MAC. I think they're gonna rally the troops and get a W in Muncie, Indiana here.
Well, you nailed it. Ball State is kind of on the rise, 4-2 against the spread in their last 6, and frankly, maybe last week was a real sign to this Ball State team that they can play. They really shit all over your Eastern Michigan pick. And on the flip side, when I look at Toledo, I look at a team that is getting entirely too much action. 86% of the money is on them currently. I went a couple weeks ago. I went pretty heavy contrarian. It didn't do. I think I went 3-3. I think I'm going to be on that same angle again. I think the only way I look here is Ball State at home, taking on a Toledo team that they tripped last week, but we don't know if they can get up. So give me Ball State plus the 1.5.
Ryan loves hitting some ball. Ball State 1-4 ATS in their last 5 when playing at home against Toledo. Toledo owns them. I like Colby's angle of Toledo bouncing back from that embarrassing performance against Bowling Green, and why not be super chalky? Colby, the public, me, all on a road favorite. What could go wrong? Next up in the 6-pack, another 11 a.m. West Coast kick. Central Michigan laying 12 points in the aforementioned Bowling Green in Bowling Green, Ohio. Bowling Green, home dog, plus 355 on the money line. Central Michigan, minus 460 going the other way. Total sitting at 55. Colby, what are we doing here?
All right. Bowling Green won their Super Bowl last week with their somehow pulled this win against Toledo. And I don't believe they can do this thing 2 weeks in a row. Central Michigan's too good of a team. I hit on Central Michigan last week against New Mexico State. Bowling Green's on that same New Mexico State level. I love Central Michigan's running back, Jonathan Ward. I think he'll be in the NFL. He's going to run all over this Bowling Green Falcon defense. Give me the Chippewas minus the 12. I'm back to fading Bowling Green. There's no way they can put this thing together back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, what could go wrong with a 5-1-1 against the spread team in the Central Michigan Chippewas? I don't think this is necessarily as big of a contrarian play. I haven't looked at the money. 60-40 split on the money. Central Michigan getting the action. I think the number's too big. I'm going to continue my contrarian ways. I'm going to take the dog here. And again, Colby, why do we think this was an anomaly last week? Perhaps they are here to stay. Perhaps the Falcons are trying to show the world that they're a version of the Falcons that aren't complete dog shit and coached by Dan Quinn. And I'm sticking with, give me the 12.5 or give me the 12. What are we picking it at? 12? Just to confirm, Sean, we are going to use the spreads on the sheet.
Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to do that this week. Okay.
Well, these spreads were provided by NC Nick, who looked at the my bookie while I was writing this. So,
look at tag team. Wait a second, tag teaming it. I like it.
Exactly, but I will note also, Bowling Green's defensive coordinator is a guy named Brian Van Gorder. He was horrible at Louisville. He was horrible at Notre Dame. I do believe he is the worst defensive coordinator in the nation. That's why you take Central Michigan.
Yeah, I like Colby's logic. Bowling Green. I think, I don't know where you're getting your consensus numbers, Ryan, but I feel like Bowling Green might end up being a public dog when this thing closes. Public dogs have fleas, and give me the Chippewas. In spite of the fact that the Chippewas are 0-9 straight up in their last 9 games on the road, it is a new era in Chippewa football. What that means exactly, I'm not sure, but I think they take care of this Bowling Green Falcons team, no problem. Lay in the big chalk. Give me Central Michigan minus 12. The Dukies head down to Charlottesville, Virginia. Not bringing a torch. They're just bringing some good old-fashioned football. Virginia, UVA, minus 3.5, minus 170 on the money line. Duke going the other way at plus 145. Total sitting at 47. Colby, I've heard of both of these teams. What are they doing in your six-pack?
All right, look, Virginia, this number should be higher, but they did lose their best corner, Bryce Hall, for the year. But I got a stat for you guys. Bronco Mendenhall has never lost to Duke as the head coach of the Cavaliers. He's 3 for 3. He's going to make it 4 for 4. And if you go back even further, Virginia's won the last 4 against Duke. I love the play here. Virginia's coming off a loss. It was a Friday night game, got an extra day of rest essentially. In Charlottesville, this Duke team does not have the physicality that this Virginia team has. Give me the Cavaliers minus 3.5 to get it done.
I think this number opened close to 5. It's been driven down with early Duke money. Rarely do you see a situation where Cutcliffe is not going to be the better coach. I think there's legitimate argument along with the Kramer Fuck My Life tour that might suggest that Virginia has at least equal coaching skill level here. And to Colby's point, Virginia has the better and the more skilled football team. So I don't think this is going to be a situation where Duke sneaks up on Virginia, because we all know Virginia aspires to be private school pussies just like the Dukies. So they're not going to get snuck up on. I don't think Cutcliffe pulls one out of his hat. And I think Virginia Tech really needs the Cavaliers to knock off Duke here. So give me Virginia minus 3.5. Kramer F My Life tour stays strong.
Yeah, and Duke has historically struggled in Virginia, at least ATS. Duke 1-4 ATS in the last 5 in Charlottesville. However, they are strong on the road, 8-1 ATS in the last 9 games on the road. I think, again, I like the bounce back situation. I like the long rest. That's all I need to see. Give me UVA at home, taking care of the Blue Devils. Colby, hashtag Temple Tough, squaring off against SMU in Dallas, Texas. SMU minus 7.5, minus 310 on the money line. Temple, the Owls, plus 250 going the other way. 48 is the total. What are you doing here, Colby?
I know you can't see me right now, but I'm spreading my wings and I'm going, who?
Yeah.
Give me the Temple Owls. Give me the Temple Owls, buddy. I think they're a live dog. Sprinkle some on the money line. This team is physical. They got good cornerback play. That's one of the strengths of their team. SMU, Southern Methodist University. They run the air raid offense. Sonny Dykes, a protege from our guy Mike Leach. But when you have a physical team, it presents challenges for SMU's defense. SMU got a bye week coming into this, but the game before they struggled against Tulsa. Temple perhaps getting a blueprint on how to beat SMU. I like the Owls to get this done in Dallas.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think defense travels, and we've seen that before. We'll see it again here. I think at 7.5, I red flag goes up a little bit. Feels trappy. They're dangling that hook, so you take it. But I do think that Temple is the side here that I'm going to want to back. The money is not telling much of a story. The money's pretty much split down the middle. But I think if I'm getting 7.5 points here, I think the Temple defense can give SMU a bit of trouble. And unclear if they're still paying their kids. So give me Temple plus 7.5.
I'll say this: Temple might not be the only team in Philadelphia heading down to Dallas getting a win this weekend. Give me the Temple Owls plus 7.5.
You see your head coach's comments on that radio show?
Yeah. No, I didn't get that piece of Philadelphia Eagles news. Of course I heard it, Colby. I hear all the news. I know all the facts, and I know a heart of a champion when I see one, and that is these Temple Owls. So yeah, give me Temple here, plus 7.5. They've been playing good ball lately. 12-5 ATS in the last 17. SMU again, they got exposed a little bit, and yeah. What more do you need to say? Temple's from Philadelphia. I'm going to take him. Give me the Temple Owls. Colby. 1:00 kick. Baylor heads down to Stillwater, Oklahoma. Squaring off against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State minus 3.5, minus 165 on the money line. Baylor plus 140 going the other way. What are you doing here, Colby?
Okay, 2 weeks ago, Oklahoma State had a bye week last week. 2 weeks ago, I made a mistake and took Oklahoma State in Lubbock, Texas. I believe Kramer was all over that. They lost in Lubbock. Now they had a bye week. And then I know you guys are extremely high on Matt Rule and Baylor. And I'm going to tell you, Matt Rule and Baylor are going to lose. I'm going with Gundy. Two strikes. He never lets me down back-to-back weeks. You know what I mean? The mullet always prevails. So let me get this Cowboy team minus 3.5. Spencer Sanders, hell of a good quarterback. He's going to exploit this Baylor defense for what they are. You can't just come into Stillwater and get a W. Give me the Cowboys getting it done.
5-1 against the spread, those Cowboys. But you know when you can come into Stillwater and get it done? When you're a Bear, because a Bear is never going to lose to a Cowboy. Also, Sean and I contractually obligated to not select teams named Cowboys. Wrong team is favored here, Sean. Wrong team is favored. Give me Baylor plus the points. They're 6-0. I think we both touted them as at playing or potentially winning the Big 12. They're on their path. I think this Oklahoma State team is a little bit of fluff based on that mullet and notoriety with that coach. If they were a home dog here, I might look to play them. They're not. They're laying 3 plus the hook. Give me Baylor and sprinkle some on the money line.
The Big 12 admitted that they got the call wrong in the Baylor Texas Tech game last week, meaning Baylor probably should have a loss. Look, they can't keep avoiding this and getting these lucky calls. They're going to come into Stillwater and get beat down like we know they should.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going back and forth here on this play. Colby, yeah, man. Ryan made a good point about not picking the Cowboys. So that's really the Hebrew Hammer sent this in, and he said that any ranked team on the road against a non-ranked team where the home team is giving points, that home team is covered every time. Example, he said number 20 UVA on the road against unranked Miami minus 2, they win by 8. So wait, does that apply to this? Because he was saying Oklahoma State, but Baylor is getting the points,
Miami was favored.
Yeah.
No. The favored team has covered, he's saying. So Miami was favored. So
Yeah.
Miami
Same with
covered that
Oklahoma
spread.
State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So real quick, Sean, I'll throw one more thing out there for you. Close to 80-20 on the money right now for Oklahoma State, and there's been a strangely heavy amount of action on this game. So
Well, Ryan,
either someone knows something or they're all suckers.
Well, Ryan, as you know, I love the fans. I support the fans, and I would normally pick this game just because the Hebrew Hammer checked me down on our Instagram at Sports Gambling Podcast and sent this over. However, I am not picking the Cowboys, not during Dallas week, not with a Sunday night game looming just a few days in the distance. So give me Baylor and whatever their team is. All right, Florida State, last of the six-pack, squaring off against Wake Forest in beautiful Winston-Salem, North Carolina for a 30 p.m. kick. The Wake Forest number, -2, -135 on the money line. FSU catching 115 the other way. Total sitting at 68.5. What are you guys doing?
I'm on Florida State here. Look, I know Florida State just got destroyed by Clemson. Wake also coming off a loss to Louisville at home. But look, this is not a tough home environment. Wake is a good team this year, but I think Florida, as you saw last year, Wake made a bowl game. Florida State didn't, but Florida State beat them down. This strictly comes down to talent. And I do think, despite them getting blown out by Clemson last week, I think Kendall Briles has that offense playing better ball. They just gave up Wake Forest just gave up 62 points at home to Louisville. Give me Florida State money line this play. You know, I know it's not much, but hey, I think they're going to win straight up.
You don't think that they've maybe quit on this coach finally? I mean, serious. At what point do we stop saying that they have the talent to do something?
I think they're going to get to a bowl this year. ACC's down.
ACC's down, but I just haven't seen this. The Florida State team has 5 stars all over the place, and they're playing like they have 2 stars. I'm not getting behind that. For me, this is similar to wanting to back the Atlanta Falcons or just teams that. It's weird, but their coach almost feels like Taggart's dead man walking. He has not yet to establish a culture. He's yet to establish dominance over the Seminole. Maybe it's this horribly racist nickname they have. I don't know. Bad karma. Give me Wake Forest minus the 2 points. Yeah, I'm backing the private school pussies.
Wow, Ryan.
The Demon Deacons is racist?
No. I like your joke there, but I'm going with the Seminoles as a mildly racist. The Demon Deacons is kind of offensive too.
Yeah, what about people who worship the devil? You're just going to make fun of their belief system, Ryan? Oh, what? Because they worship the devil? It's not a real religion? Sorry, they're not, whatever you are, Ryan. Ryan was like, Ryan's like one of those people that they get the religious exemption so they can smoke weed all the time. Whatever that church is, that's the one Ryan's in.
Rastafarian?
Yeah, exactly. He uses it for religious ceremonies, so he gets the exemption. That was pretty like medical marijuana. This Florida State team's been hot and cold. I think they're gonna have trouble traveling. So give me Wake Forest -2. Keep it simple. All right, before we move on to our top 25, just want to give a quick shout out to all the people supporting the podcast by shopping over at Amazon. Again, it's really that simple, guys. I'm not going to explain Amazon to you. What I am going to explain is how you shop through Amazon and support the podcast. All you got to do is go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com. There's an Amazon banner. You click through that. You do your shopping. And while you click through there, why not just bookmark it? So then every time you shop at Amazon, you use that bookmark, you're supporting the podcast. And quick little program note, I will be doing stand-up comedy in beautiful Phoenixville, PA at the Sound Bank. Headlining the show. Doors open 7:30. Show starts at 8:30. October 25th, I'll be headlining and doing a entire sports-based set. So come hang out and get drunk with me after the show. Now to the top 25. Oregon Ducks. Quack, quack, quack. Head into Seattle, Washington. Square off against the Washington Huskies. Oregon, 3-point road favorite, -145 on the money line. Washington, +125, dog, 50.5 is the total. Colby, what's going on in this game?
I'm all over Washington here. This almost made my 6-pack. I still think, look, Oregon looks great, but they haven't really left Autzen. And when they did, they took on Stanford, who's a really down Stanford. This is the trap game I saw all year coming. Peterson's a better coach. He's going to get the dub. Oregon just lost their tight end for the year, a stud tight end. I like the Huskies getting it done at home. They came through for me last week on the road in Arizona. Where Kramer went with Sumlin. What is he thinking? But hey, look, Chris Peterson is still Chris Peterson. I know that, hey, they lost a couple games. They shouldn't have. A weird game in Seattle where all the fans were gone and Cal beat them earlier in the year. Fans are going to be there for this one. All right. And there will be some sailgating. So I'm taking the Huskies and Major Mud, coming through for me. They treated me well. I'd say, I think I'm 3-0 on the 6-pack on taking Washington. So give me the Huskies plus the 3 points at home in Seattle.
Home dog. Kramer, what are you doing here?
Well, first I would like to apologize to the clients for backing Kevin Sumlin, not listening to my own advice. That was very stupid. I was caught up in the just get everything. All the money is fading Colby because at this point he's trash. He's bounced back. Also worth pointing out, I am 13-8 in the top 25 games. So
this is your specialty.
This is my wheelhouse is picking games that people actually watch, Colby. And the clients love to hear your banter, but really these are the games they're watching. This is what they tune in to hear. They tune in to hear my top 25 picks, and I'm agreeing with you this week. There will be some sailgating up there. I love this spot for Washington. I'm with you. I don't like Oregon laying the points, taking to the road. And you know what I really like, Sean?
What's that?
I love a juicy dog only getting 30% of the action. Give me the Washington Huskies plus the 3. And Sean, you know what? This might be a money line play later. So
Chris Peterson is 14-9 versus very good offensive teams, and that is teams that are scoring 34 or more points per game while he's coached Washington. So a little interesting fact there, and that speaks to your money line play as well. Home field advantage. I just think this isn't a great matchup for Oregon. I was big on Oregon leading up to the season. I want to stick with them here, but I think at +3 there is some value in Washington. I'll take the points. I think the spread will matter in this game. So I'm not as.
I'll tell you.
I see this being like a 28-27 game. Maybe I'm.
I'll tell you this, and if Sean's prediction does happen, and it's really close, Oregon's kicker is god awful, and that could play. Special teams could be huge. Washington's known to block punts, known to return kicks. Chris Peterson's known to have a good special teams. Oregon's kicker has been awful this year.
Yep. Yeah. It just feels like it's gonna be close. I think I would like Washington money line more if the game was at night, but I think Oregon hangs. It's going to be back and forth, so I'll take the free 3. But I don't love Washington money line there. Next game in the top 25, ASU the Sun Devils. Where have they been all season? Out of nowhere, beating Wazoo last week. They head to Salt Lake City, Utah. Elevation. Utah minus 13.5, minus 560 on the money line. ASU plus 410 on the money line. 48.5 is the total. Colby, what are we doing here?
It's tough to win in Salt Lake City, but 13.5 is too many points. I think Utah gets the win, but give me the Sun Devils plus 13.5. Herm Edwards has got this team believing. They're a good defensive team. Now, I will say Utah looks like they have really got things together since that USC loss. So I do like Utah to get the W, but with 13.5 points, let's go with the Sun Devils. Too many points.
Oh, music to my ears when Colby takes a dog when I'm about to take the big favorite. This to me a lot like the a lot like the Florida LSU spot last week. I just think Utah is so much more talented than this Arizona. Remember, let's not forget, guys, Herm Edwards still the coach. So I think situationally, it's a tough road trip for Arizona State. I think this Utah team is peaking, and they're peaking in a way where they're Colby. Dare I say they're flying under the radar? This is a huge game for the South. Utah rolls. Utah wins by 3 touchdowns.
Arizona State 2-0 on the road this year. One at Michigan State. One at Cal. Big wins, man. They know how to go on the road and get a W.
Yeah, I mean, ASU. Yeah, maybe Herm Edwards can't coach professionals, but he sure as hell can coach these ASU Sun Devils. 5-1 straight up. You play to win the game. Everyone knows that quote from Herm Edwards. What quote you might not know is quitting is not an option. I will not let anyone quit on this team. Here's another Herm Edwards quote. Your problems are never bigger than your purpose. And the ASU Sun Devils' purpose this week is to cover 13.5, which they will be able to do. Give me ASU plus the big number. Rounding out the top 25, Big Blue heads to State College, Pennsylvania, where Penn State is a 9-point favorite, minus 340 on the money line. Michigan plus 270 money line. Total sitting at 45. Colby, are you riding the Harbaugh train this week?
No, I am not. Historically, this has been blowout city when these teams have met at their own home stadium. Last year, Michigan destroyed Penn State. The year before, Penn State destroyed Michigan. And I once again watched Michigan last week against the Illini give up 25 straight points to one of the worst teams in Power 5 football. I think Penn State's they're a legit team. Franklin has an edge on himself when these games happen. Like he's chippy. He wants to destroy Michigan. I don't think he's a big Jim Harbaugh guy. Give me Penn State minus the 9 points. In-state college, this place is going to be on fire. Michigan does not have enough offense to stay in this game.
Fool me once, shame on me. I think that's what you say. Bet on Harbaugh twice and lose, and you're a fucking asshole. Give me Penn State minus the 9 points.
Yeah, I'm all over Penn State here. I made the mistake of back in Iowa. I thought it would be an ugly, close game, and it was ugly, but not close enough to cover the spread. Michigan has just been. I think Ryan, why you hate Harbaugh? They're just horrible against the spread. Michigan 2-8 ATS their last 10. Franklin does seem to be getting a little bit of mojo going for this Penn State team. They got a little bit of heat. They're undefeated. I mean, they're quietly in the mix for the college football playoff. It should be a big game, a night game, 7:30 kick. Weather getting a little cold, good hitting weather, and should be a lot of fun. I think Penn State rolls here, so give me Penn State minus 9.
It's a whiteout, I assume, right?
I would think so. They usually seem to do that on these big games.
Yeah, Harbaugh's gonna stick out like a sore thumb with his khakis.
I thought you were referring to a Sean having a whiteout in Vegas this trip.
Oh wow!
No, that's Kobe. A white party. That's a white party,
guys. I'm doing some professional networking out in Las Vegas. So, last 3 games, courtesy of Twitter. At Wes_Krager from Columbia, South Carolina. He wants to know, Gamecocks at home, 6-point dogs, 9 a.m. kick against the Gators. Florida minus 225, laying the 6. South Carolina plus 185. Total sitting at 48.5. Colby, was that a mirage last week? Or are these Gamecocks, are they ready to hunt?
So I last night, guys, I was a guest on the Tallahassee or the Florida State podcast for Florida State football, and they asked me this game on there on behalf of the podcast. I went with Florida, but that's because I didn't know who was starting, because obviously they're starting. They were on their second string quarterback against Georgia, Helinski, who got injured, and they brought in their third string quarterback, who was a defensive back just a couple months ago. But once Helinski got injured, but they didn't score many points once Helinski got injured. But word on the street now, I checked my sources. Helinski's playing this Saturday. So yesterday on the podcast, I went Florida minus 6. I'm changing that to South Carolina plus 6, mainly because I'm going to listen to my stat on back-to-back road games. Teams last year, 7-48 on winning on the back-to-back road games. That's Power 5 teams. 55 times they played it. Back-to-back road games, 7-48. I'm going with that trend. Give me South Carolina plus 6.
Yeah, I mean that's the tout way. You sell both sides, Colby. You're really learning. The listen, South Carolina believes, big win for them. And frankly, Florida, they got a little bit exposed. They lost. They didn't cover. I know they have a bye week in between, but this game doesn't fucking matter. They get Georgia on deck. And while, yes, they have a bye week in between, I gave you that this Florida team, I believe it was 9.5, was it, Colby, preseason? I gave you the under. I still think they're on their way under. And I think for a big reason why is they're going to drop this game right here. They had a baby dream crushing situation here where they got handled by LSU. And that basically reset all of their minds that, hey, we're not good enough. We're not good enough to win the SEC this year. Probably not even good enough to win the East, but hey, to win the East, all we got to do is beat Georgia next week. So let's just get through this South Carolina game.
Don't sleep on Missouri. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but Missouri, they'd have to win at Missouri, and Missouri plays nobody. So watch out for the Missouri Tigers as a dark horse to win the SEC East.
I said way too many words to say. Florida, trash, fade them.
Kramer, when a boxer is getting ready for a big fight, what does he do? He doesn't have sex, correct?
Okay, I was going to answer that, but you answered your own question. Good job.
I guess it was with the Skype, I didn't know how that was going to work. But all right. Regardless,
I thought it was steroids.
When you have a big fight coming up, you don't have a lot of sex. What has happened to these guys on the South Carolina team? They've had a week long of tons and tons of sex. They beat Georgia. They just became heroes in South Carolina. They won the Super Bowl. I'm sure they had their equivalent of a parade. These Gamecocks are drained. Florida is going to be scrappy. Give me Florida -6 to regain a little bit of their edge going into the bye week. Next Twitter question. The Twitter game, @CarterBlanche22 wants to know about the Air Force Hawaii game, 8:00 West Coast kick. Air Force -3 road favorite. The Fighting Rainbows +130. Air Force -150 on the money line. Total sitting at 65. Colby, are we Rainbow Warriors this week or what?
I think so. Nick Rolovich undefeated at home on the island. I understand this game's a little bit more complex because Air Force brings in that triple option, which is always a tough guard defensively. But I think Hawaii's offense rolls on the island. They beat Arizona. They beat Oregon State. They took down some other teams as well. Give me Hawaii to get in points. Why don't you sprinkle some on the money line here? Rainbow Warriors get the dub.
Air Force is another team that just flat out feels offended for being associated with the trash Falcons of the NFL. They're a military team. They will travel just fine. Lay the points. This triple option is no joke. Hawaii's not going to be able to stop it. You know what? Hot take here. Air Force wins by 2 touchdowns.
Whoa.
Wow, Ryan, that is hot. Feels like a lot of people are going to be on the Air Force Falcons. I'm going to be one of them. Air Force 1-5 ATS in their last 6 games against Hawaii. This one's different. This one's personal. Air Force always shows up in Hawaii, except Pearl Harbor. That was unfortunate, but we won it back. We got it figured out. World War II. I don't have a lot here. I just think the time change, the discipline factor, and again, Hawaii just doesn't seem. I don't know. It's just tough to prepare for this triple option, especially this late in the season. I think Hawaii's going to be in a tough spot. So give me Air Force -3. Closing things out strong. San Diego State versus San Jose State. Last week, we all pushed with our gals. Colby didn't believe. He took Wyoming. Kramer and I believed. We had San Diego State. 26-22. A weird 4-point push. There's no chance this one pushes. San Diego State laying 7.5 in San Jose. San Jose State +250 on the money line. The Aztecs -310. Favorites total sitting at 47.5. Colby, what are you doing here?
San Diego State pulled that one out of their ass last week, man. Cross field throw. Quarterback's rolling out right, about to run out of bounds, throws it all the way to the left. It gets caught for a touchdown. I believe that might have been on 4th and 6 if not that, it was 3rd and 6. But they would have had to kick a field goal if not a couple minutes left in the game, and they pulled that out their ass. I like San Jose State to rebound here. I love their quarterback Josh Love getting 7.5 points at home. Give me the Spartans of San Jose State to cover this line.
Wow, no love for our gals.
Dude, what's wrong with you? This actually makes me happy because I was about to tell you how San Diego State is going to be an extremely public side this week, and it's always scary to lay this amount of points with their lack of offense traditionally. That being said, I'm not taking San Jose State. Have you seen their colors? It's gross. It's absolutely
I like those
gross.
Uniforms. I like them.
Of course you do. You're a Jets fan. You don't have any taste in fashion.
Wait. Now I don't like those uniforms. The new Jets uniforms are. It's hard to root for them.
Well, that's not why it's hard to root for him. But Colby, you haven't celebrated the return of Sam Darnold. My Sam Darnold is better than Baker Mayfield take is alive and well. Colby,
No.
How awesome is the Sammy Comeback song that I posted on Instagram? Make sure you check that out. Instagram, Sports Gambling Podcast.
That was hilarious.
Billy Badbones
that was absolutely
is the guy who wrote it, I think.
No, I'm saying that was hilarious. And look, Sam Darnold got a big win for us. Anytime you beat the Cowboys, it's great. It's a great day. So, kudos to him getting it done. I don't want to shit on him, but hey, Baker Mayfield is still better. It's just he has Freddie Kitchens. Being drafted by the Browns can do terrible things for your career.
It's hard to argue with that, but at some point Baker needs to accept the fact that he's throwing a ton of interceptions and it's not the ref's fault.
He needs guidance. A coach that knows what he's doing. Freddie Kitchens I mean, come on. What credentials does this guy have? That's like, I feel like me or you getting hired to be the Browns coach would be better off than Freddie Kitchens.
He's a mean fly fisherman.
He looks
he wasn't even he wasn't a good quarterback at Alabama back in the 90s. He hasn't been good ever.
He looks like a short order cook on a submarine. I don't know. It just gives me that vibe. You know what he looks?
He looks like this, Sean. He looks like the guy who makes the chicken on a stick for Eddie O.
We're Tigers. Well, we're Tigers and we're also Aztecs. You know who is a good coach? Rocky Long. The guy brings a winning mentality to this Aztec program, and that's not much to travel. You're not going to get distracted by all the amenities that San Jose has to offer. You're not gonna get sucked up in some Silicon Valley hang. The Aztecs are gonna come up and take care of business. Give me the gals laying 7.5. Closing things out strong with our lock, dog, and tease presented by MyBookie.ag. Promo code SGP. Kick things off first, Colby. What's your lock?
What you don't change horses midstream. Central Michigan was my lock last week against New Mexico State. And look, I understand they're hitting the road, but Bowling Green's going to have as many fans as there were at my last comedy show last week. So I'm going to say Central Michigan minus 12 in Bowling Green, Ohio as my lock.
All right.
Sticking with it. Now my dog. I'm going to go with the Temple Owls money line plus 250. Look, I think Washington's going to win, but that's only plus 125. I want to give my clients real cash. All right.
Big dogs.
Last week, if you tuned into the Periscope that prior to the kickoff that I did, I said, hey, take Tennessee money line, which was my dog on our on the 6-pack. And then I said, take Temple money line against Memphis. There were dogs at home. Parlay those, and boom, voila. What happened? It hit. So I'm going to say take Temple money line, and also why don't you just parlay that with something out there like a little bit of Washington or perhaps San Jose State. But my pick is Temple. So sorry, I'm just giving away a bunch of shit here.
Okay, and give us your tease, Colby.
Alrighty, my tease is. Let's go to what are we doing here? Give me Florida State plus 8. Give me Penn State minus 3.
Okay.
And give me Washington plus 9.
Okay. And what is your bonus lock, Colby?
And my bonus lock is I'm gonna ride with. Hold on, I have it written down here. Let me just make sure I'm accurate on this. My bonus lock is, where is this? Give me the Tulane Green Wave getting 4.5 in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm gonna get that one. The Green Wave, man. Willie Fritz and his smoking hot wife. Gotta ride it.
Tulane catching 4. Okay. Kramer, your lock, sir.
You know what? I'm staying clear of the stupid 6-pack since that's been my problem lately. Give me Utah minus 13.5 for my lock. Give me Washington plus 125 for my dog. I do like the Temple angle. That is if you're looking for a steeper dog, that's the one to take. For my tease, dare I, but Penn State, you got to tease that down to 3. That's easy peasy. We're going to take San Diego State down to 1.5 because why not? And last leg, not a ton of value, but let's get that Baylor number up to 9.5. I like that. I think they're going to win that game outright. So I'll put that in the tease. And for my bonus lock, Sean, I'm very prepared this week.
Nice.
Coming in 1-5 against the spread, the Virginia Tech Hoke. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to throw that out. Although there's no way they should be 3.5 point dogs against North Carolina at home. What I'm going to give you is it. Go ahead.
Sorry, is Virginia Tech going to win the Coastal now? There's a path for them.
Oh, there's a very clear path. It's terrifying. Fuente is going to be around forever. I'm not going there because it's terrifying to take a team that's 1-5 against the spread. They don't look like they've improved. They really struggled against Rhode Island. But I'm going to a team that has just situational red circles all over this game. Mississippi State coming off a loss against Tennessee where they got embarrassed a little bit because Tennessee's trash. You can't lose that game. Now they get LSU, who is coming off a massive win against Florida. And guess what? This is a sandwich spot. Who does LSU have next week, Colby?
They have what?
Auburn.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Huge matchup on deck. They're coming off a huge win. And I just like, they got to go on the road for this one. They're going to take take on a Mississippi State team that is going to want to show they're not complete trash. Plus 18.5 at home. Give me the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And wait, they're Mississippi State. How much are they getting? 12.5.
18.5.
18.5. All right. For my lock, give me the Temple Owls plus 7.5. For my dog. Sorry, guys. Big dogs only. Give me the Arizona State Sun Devils going into Utah and shocking the world at plus 410. For my tease, knock down Penn State to -3, SDSU down to 1.5 as well, and Florida just to win the game against the Gamecocks. For my bonus pick, Coach Leach, I love you, but 13 points with this Wazoo defense right now is way too much. Colorado, give me Colorado plus 13 points in Pullman, Washington.
Sean, I totally thought you were going to go with the Dragons and back our UAB friends who are playing Old Dominion, laying 16 points.
Well, you know, I last time I bet on UAB, I ended up saying some negative things about the great state and people that make up Alabama, right? And you know, much like the NBA in China. The Alabama market's very big to us, and I want to mend some fences, so I'm going to avoid picking Alabama teams and possibly getting mad and saying things about Alabama that I shouldn't. All right, guys, thanks as always for tuning into the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Gambling Podcast, on Instagram, Sports Gambling Podcast. Make sure you rate, review, and share on the iTunes for the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Let's go Hokies.
Kramer, let it ride.